Just before I start this video, I told you so. I told you so. The prisoners get treated better than anybody else in the state. And I have proof here. Because obviously I know other countries in Europe, I know some countries wouldn't pay. Especially if you go to prison, you obviously done something wrong. Some of them may be more severe than others. But at the end of the day, you done something wrong. And it's the taxpayer who has to keep them in the cells, I suppose you could say. And to spend 325,000 a year to keep them in, to keep their sky boxes going, not to keep them in prison. I mean they said to keep them in prison. To give them Sky Sports, to give them this. Oh my God, what a lovely country we live in. We have money to throw after ourselves. This is, I'm telling you something. If I go into one of the army barracks in either Donegal or Dublin, I bet you any money they haven't even got a laptop, any of the soldiers. I bet you any money because the state wouldn't give them damn all. And they give prisoners this, and people who probably do drugs and leaders of gangs, I suppose you could say. The big noises in the prison. They're probably getting full VIP treatment, and the people that's in the army working hard, trying to make a living, trying to support their families, pushed away. They don't care. I bet you any money they don't even have a telly in an army base in Ireland. Because the Department of Defence is that miserable in this country. They give them what they need. And then they're like, you know what, we give them to the prisoners. One of them might have shot somebody, one of them could have whipped the girl. But apparently, you know what, we give them Sky Sports. Should I say any more? And then spending 325,000. It actually gets worse. It actually will get worse. I'm actually not going to kid with you. It's actually going to get worse. Like, it's actually not even funny. Like, looking at these here, I leave the article in the description, but truthfully, this is something that's absolutely a joke. A joke. Like, this is not even funny. You know what I'm saying? That you would, like, I would love to see, does the army get any of this? Does the army, or the people who deserve it, I suppose you could say, people who work hard, people in the army, I say they don't even have a telly in the army bases. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I bet you any money that's the case, because the Irish government care more for people who's in prison than they do for people who serve in the country. And they care more for the people in the prison than they do for people out lying on the streets. Case closed. Obviously I've been right. I've been saying it 100 times. This is total proof that this money could go towards army wages. But apparently, you know what, prison TV is more better for the government to spend 325,000 on, of taxpayers spending. People who work hard have to pay their taxes to the state, and this is what it goes to, would you believe? Instead of keeping dangerous prisoners in prison, you know what, we give them entertainment when they're in prison. Now, I understand for low-level crimes, I suppose you could say, small shop thefts and all the rest of that, that's understandable. I completely understand that people are allowed to watch telly. I'm not saying nobody's allowed to watch telly in prison, but, spending that kind of money on just that, like, believe me, that's a joke. If you go in any country, say in Europe, they'll probably laugh at you if you said that to any government in Europe. Anyway, thank you for watching, subscribe for more, and bye.